Hello, this is Taha.
This is Anaina,
This is Movie Masala.
and we're here to yap at you about films we watched recently.
And today we're doing
Rental Family, directed by Hikari.
We sell emotion. Oh, how? We play roles in the clients' lives.
Oh, thanks. But you can't just replace someone in your life.
Yes and no. But people are willing to take a leap. The actor, the surrogate. You don't have to be that person. You just have to help clients connect to what's missing.
so this nearly was on like one of my most anticipated films. And I'll be honest, there's only one reason.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to guess what that reason is, Anaina?
Brendan Fraser.
It is Brendan Fraser.
Easiest answer ever.
Yeah, listen, I just like him. I just don't know.
He's a nice guy. He's a neat guy.
He's just a nice guy. He's just like genuinely, you're like, you just want to keep giving him a chance. You just want to be like, please,
Agreed. And
I like you.
that's kind of what he plays in this movie as well.
Yeah, he truly has his let a white boy speak a little Japanese moment.
Truly. And also, like, if you told me in this film Brendan Fraser wasn't playing a character and was just playing like a fictionalized version of himself, Brendan Fraser, I would have gone, yeah, that about makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm just really happy to see him come back. Like after his Academy Award win for The Whale and now him doing more films, just happy to see him back. Like honestly, well deserved. He really did have a shitty time and how he was treated.
Agreed, absolutely. I think loads of people go, where do you go after winning an Oscar? And the answer to that Brendan Fraser gives in this movie is like, wherever you want, really.
Yeah. I'm just here. I'm just here for a good time. You tell me what to do. I'm happy to help.
If I need to speak a little Japanese, I need to speak a little Japanese.
Yeah. So yeah, this film, I think, so going over what the film is about,
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser plays like this, I would say that's a struggling actor. Yeah, I think that's fair enough to say.
He is struggling very evidently, which will be validated by what we describe he does.
Yeah, I think very honestly though, most actors working are struggling.
Oh.
That's just the nature of the industry.
Yeah. As long as, you're in the acting business, regardless of whether you're ultra famous or not, you're struggling a little bit with different things, but you're struggling.
So struggling. Yeah. So Brendan Fraser plays as like a struggling actor in Tokyo. I think he's in Tokyo, right?
It's Tokyo, yes.
So he finds this gig where he's basically acting. He's playing a role, but he's playing a role in people's life in sort of kind of real life. What I mean by that is he's just paid to be someone's dad. He's paid to be someone's friend. He's paid to be a reporter by someone to make their dad feel like they're still relevant. So he's made to play real life roles in people's lives with or without them knowing.
Yeah, I mean, to quote the film myself, we sell emotions or like we act emotions or something like that. And I feel like that kind of really captures what the character is meant to be doing in this film. And I don't know, I think it's at the same time an interesting concept and also like a very like obvious
Dystopian?
Okay. But also obvious kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Probably because of the dystopia.
Yeah, but also like this is not a future dystopia. This is very much present.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because he fully goes like sometimes we play people's like girlfriends or boyfriends or stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, this happens in real life. It's called the people who date ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That is something that is real. That is fully real.
Yeah. And to just kind of like get into the plot a little bit. It basically starts with him being asked to play token white guy at a wedding, which by the way, side note, do you not love the fact that they accept the token white guyness of Brendan Fraser in this film?
Brendan Fraser is such a good token white guy.
Yeah. And I mean, I like the fact that it's acknowledged, right? And like openly made fun of throughout the film.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, to get back to the plot, to play this token white guy at like a funeral. And he slowly finds out that the funeral is like fake as well. And then he kind of gets into the whole thing. And basically, he has to play, quote unquote, get married to this woman who is, spoiler, a lesbian. And that kind of just opens up the pathway for like thinking about the social aspects of this film, specifically in context to Japan and Japanese society.
Yeah, like I think while watching this film, one thing I was realized is like, America gets a lot of flack for being very capitalistic. Well, I think Japan does not, based on like how its culture and like a lot of Japan can sometimes be ultra capitalistic as well in so many ways.
100%. If you go into Japanese history and like the kind of way that they've changed their entire public image, as you would put it, in like the global scale, you kind of start realizing the kind of intrinsic, I wouldn't say flaws, but like issues and problems within Japanese society, especially in the main city of Tokyo, because of the kind of way that, metropoles and large capital cities function.
Yeah, but what this movie really is about, when you very basically dig down to it, it's about people being lonely and capitalism exploiting that.
100%. Yeah, because tell me why the idea that you pay someone to enact certain emotions for you did not seem like too far of a reach.
It's not. It's really not. In a lot of ways, like paying someone to just be your friends and play video games with you, it's sad, but it's a real reality that I can fully grasp.
And like, if you've seen like a few like teenage rom-coms ish from like a certain era, you'll find this trope as well. I can't remember the name of the movie right now, but there's like a really popular movie where this girl is paid by this other girl's parents to like be her friend or be her best friend. And in that kind of context and in that film, it's kind of like a ha, you would never imagine this would never happen in real life. And then you watch this film in 2025, 2026, you kind of go, I can 100% see why this is a very valid thing. And I think what this film does really well is it doesn't judge any of the characters.
Yes.
It does not judge the characters who are hiring Brendan Fraser's character, Philip.
Let's call them actors, hiring the real life actors. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't judge the people hiring the real life actors, and it doesn't judge the actors either, which I think is like an impressive thing to do, given how it can be so easy to judge either group of people or like to snap like judgments or values on them.
I think like with the first scene where he plays this woman's makeshift husband so that she can leave Japan and be with this woman that she loves, it immediately showcases you there are real reasons why people might need this. It gives you an example that makes this situation more complex. It problematizes it, as you say in academia, to make it basically just be like, it adds nuance, It's just we fancy words. Yeah, immediately you go like, okay, I can see why this woman, instead of like having that conflict with her family, creating this, was just like, this is an easier out and I'll do that. And you can't fault her for that, can you? Especially as like a queer person, you would be like, I get it. As much as I hate that this has to happen, I get it.
We've all kind of like joked about lavender marriages and such, but if it came down to it wouldn't be a joke. That's what I was getting to. It's like, if it really came down to it, I don't think a single queer person or like a true ally would ever say no if someone was really in that dire of a situation. So it kind of reflects that really well.
Yeah. And I think even as grows, like you also see like Brendan Fraser's loneliness leaving because he's connecting with people as well. So it's showing how, regardless of money, it is just a connection with people. And I think this film doesn't do a very like loud comparison, but it does do like a little comparison, because Brendan Fraser is also friends with this sex worker who he has just a normal, nice relationship with, despite paying her. And I think in that way, she is kind of doing the exact same thing for him as this thing is.
I mean, they even say it in the film.
Yeah, they even do. Yeah. The only difference is she's not lying about it. She's not lying about what she does.
Agreed. And I think at the end of the day, the way the film wraps up, it kind of addresses that the lying about it was one of the core issues that needed to be resolved. But yeah, I fully agreed. I will say though, like as much as I love the premise and I like Brendan Fraser's acting in it, as well as the acting of the supporting cast as well, all of the supporting cast, they're like really fantastic. And the fact that it has a good emotional core to it, as is kind of obvious.
You're smiling so many points through this film. Like, it's just cute and nice and like, yeah, wholesome.
You're also tearing
Oh,
up
yeah.
because, like, for example, the moment, spoilers again, where Brendan Fraser's character kind of promises that he's never going to leave this girl who he's pretending to be the father of. And you're like devastated and heartbroken because you know he'll have to leave
Exactly.
her at some point.
For me, that moment was when he finds the pictures for the old man and he puts it in his jacket after he's dead. I was like, that's so touching. I did not see that coming, honestly, even though, like, I'm pretty sure you'll talk about this. I know where you're going about the plot of this film at times. But, like, while the plot can be sometimes predictable, I think that genuinely caught me off guard, and it was just very touching, very sweet, and it made me genuinely tear up.
Yeah, you've given me the perfect segue into the criticism of my film.
Happy to help.
Yeah, which is basically there are moments of surprise and like, oh, that's so nice. But then there's too few of those moments and too many more kind of long periods of time. You're like, yeah, okay, I kind of saw that coming. Yeah, okay, I kind of saw that coming. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, I will say, but it does kind of make it a little monotonous and repetitive.
How I was thinking about it was in the scene, I was like, I think this film has plotting issues where because it just exposes all of its cards very early, then you're just waiting for the next thing to happen. And until it happens, nothing is really like that surprising to you or like, so you'll have those big little moments, but the middle in them until the payoff happens, you're just there. So the setup is not as interesting as just the payoff by itself is.
For sure, 100%. And I also feel like at some points, the writing, or particularly the dialogue, which is also done by the director Hikari and Stephen Blahut, feels a little bit trite in the sense that it doesn't feel natural enough for the moment.
It feels a bit manufactured.
Like, especially a lot of the dialogues that are in English and some of the Japanese characters are saying them. And I'm kind of like, no, they were speaking Japanese the whole time. It's fine. Let them speak Japanese. Again, and this is not because of the actors. It's because of the dialogue that they're saying. Perhaps it's the way that kind of Japanese people speak English in a certain context. But even like some of Brendan Fraser's dialogues seemed too like sanitized. They didn't feel like they were coming, like for the emotional moments that they were trying to like convey, they didn't feel as like smooth.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I think sanitized is a great way to put it. It feels it should have been more raw and not as well put in a sense, very basically, when you have that, right? Again, I think with that as well, like you mentioned, like how the film doesn't like really judge anyone. But with that said, with the premise of like how Brendan Fraser does like critique the person who's running it, that you are exploiting people. Very basically, that is what you're doing. But you don't see any ramifications of that really. It's just a thing. He corrects one thing, which is like, yeah, we don't sell one specific type of service. That's all the film really tells you. You're just meant to assume other things have happened without being told what. So it just feels like, I understand not judging, but you should judge the system or the people perpetuating the system. I think that's fine.
Exactly. That's really what I was waiting to happen at the end. Like in the scene where they're kind of showing the new setup of the company, I was like, have they turned this into a therapy service?
Yeah.
Have they turned this into an anonymous phone call service where they talk, where people can kind of call and talk about their issues and this and that or whatever? But it hadn't. It was still the same thing. And I was kind of like, okay. And that one dialogue where the kind of owner of the company goes, yeah, we don't offer that service. And then kind of, which is a little bit about the kind of gendered issues within Japanese society and the kind of way women are treated, which is like, cool, you resolve that one issue, fantastic, a great step forward. But like there doesn't seem to be any systemic change to support, or like not systemic change, but like a systemic solution to the problem that is offered up within this world. Obviously, we're not talking about real world solutions. This is a film.
Yeah, but
let's be realistic. within the context of this film itself, I feel like a more systemic solution would have been nice to see.
Like you said, I don't think it needs a solution, but it just felt like it was a bit too charitable to certain things, and that just went against its own premise or its own ideas
Yeah,
of what
yeah.
it was trying to make a better picture of. Like, yeah, like move into a better place. Like, the goal is that this entire system is the problem, not just a specific thing here and there. We don't want the issue, like he said,
Exactly.
which is like people don't want to go to therapy, and the taboo around that makes them do this. Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Exactly. Yeah, which is why I said like a anonymous therapy service or something would have been nice to see instead.
Yeah.
So like, while I appreciate the kind of issues it brings up and addresses, it also addresses criticism to the kind of systems that make those issues. Even if it had left it open-ended, it would have been fine, but it goes back into those same issues and that same system again, which doesn't feel very gratifying.
Yeah. Yeah. Although was very like genuinely, again, speaking about moments of surprises, I did find like Shinji, who's like the main guy who's running the company, as we talked about, the fact that his family is also like just actors. I was like, I did not see that coming.
Me neither.
I was just fully taken aback. I think it really does add so much to the character.
For sure.
Because at the end of the all of these characters are lonely, and that just adds so much to this idea of like his loneliness. But yeah, I think, again, this is a very sweet and nice film to watch. It really does brighten you up. Like, it makes you like feel nice, more wholesome.
For sure.
But I don't think I watched this and felt like it changed my perspective on anything, or like it challenged my view in any meaningful way, or it made me think about something in a perspective I never thought about.
Agreed. It kind of makes you go, yeah, I knew there were these problems within this particular society. It's sad, but it never pushes that feeling beyond.
Yeah, exactly. I watched this for Brendan Fraser, and watch anything else he's in, because I just like him. He's just nice. That's it. He's just
As
nice.
you should. He's a nice, neat guy.
Yeah, so those were our thoughts. Thank you for tuning in. This podcast is produced solely by us with musical assets from Pixabay. If you enjoyed this, please do share it. See you again next time.
Bye-bye.